enterprise AI, the reality check. Arav and the gentleman from L&T, they spoke at length, what's happening on the ground. But, let me, from our point of view, let me, give a view of what enterprises are thinking. So I have about 25, slides and about 500 seconds to go. Let's hit the road running. Should enterprises invest in AI? What a silly question, right? I mean, all of you can yell yes. Leslie can kick me out of the stage and we can go home, we can save a lot of time and energy. But I'm here over the next 8.5 minutes, want to answer why, how, and where should enterprises invest in AI, right? Coming to why, okay, what are enterprises going through? Why even this basic fundamental question, right? Why should enterprises invest in AI? The reason that question comes up is, Arav talked about it, it's also becoming increasingly difficult to keep a track of what's happening in the AI space. These are some of the developments that happened in the last 3 weeks, right? Meta launched Llama 3, Microsoft launched Phi 3 Mini. Both of them can run on PC machines without GPUs, so the need for GPUs is reducing. The same month, NVIDIA lost its market cap by 15%. Okay, so the hyperscaler model actually under threat. A week later, Sundar Pichai announced that in the last year, Google reduced 80% of AI infrastructure need for their Gen AI queries. And last week, Meta announced a multi-token prediction model. Okay, and a few days back, was it Anthropic, Leslie? Anthropic came up with an explanation of a research paper on understanding hidden layers. All these are, groundbreaking innovations, and I am not even talking about the ChatGPT 4.0 that OpenAI launched, Google I/O announcements, and the Microsoft announcements 2 days back, which made the headlines. The point is, the pace of innovations in the AI space are, going extremely fast for anyone to keep a track of, right? So, and enterprises definitely are struggling to keep a track of this. Again, why do we ask these fundamental questions? This is BCG's numbers as of December 10. Less than 10% Gen AI pilots are actually going into production, and a lot of them are ending up in sandbox. So enterprises are still questioning themselves, if that is the case, why do we have to invest in AI, right? And what's happening? The talent is getting scarce and costlier. These are some of the salaries, for AI engineers. Some of them are double the market standards, okay? And most of the enterprises don't have in-house talent. Looking at ROI, enterprises are also struggling to define ROI when it comes to Gen AI, right? I mean, most of the companies, this is A16Z's enterprise survey data, close to 60% of the companies are positive about ROI but not measuring it. About 1/3 of them are talking about, measuring ROI in terms of cost savings. About 9% think that ROI will come from new revenue opportunities. In my mind, this is actually going to be where a huge chunk of ROI is going to come. So ROI in the enterprise AI space is still a function of art and science. And now the enterprise budgets are moving from, AI budgets are moving from innovation and R&D to actually software upgrade budgets, which in my personal opinion is actually a huge mistake. Companies should actually increase innovation and R&D budgets and not move, AI into different software upgradation OpEx budgets, right? And also, close to half of most of the, AI, or especially Gen AI implementations are just chatbots, okay? Beyond that, nothing is coming out of enterprises. So, considering all of these questions, enterprises are, and the decision makers are thinking, should they even invest in AI? So, let's quickly see, in a minute, where are enterprises stuck? 4 hard facts, Arav talked a lot about this. 90% of enterprise AI is actually in, it's only 10% is AI algo. 90% is in IT infrastructure, management, seamless IT infrastructure management, and change management. Okay, that's where the companies are struggling with, and data engineering. Data cleaning, vectorization, and engineering. That is where the companies are struggling with. They have huge balls and chains in terms of all these 3 areas. in terms of success of AI transformation. And also enterprises are wired for looking for certainty in an uncertain world. They want predictability in a VUCA world, right? And that is not going to happen in the current state. Apart from the technological advances, the enterprises also have to struggle with geopolitical, economic, and even workforce, intergenerational workforce, dynamics that are hitting them from different directions. And it's creating a lot of uncertainty, but, enterprises think that they want certainty in an uncertain world. So that's a fact. Another fact, there's this huge thing that GenAI is another crypto hype, right? So there's a very big sentiment going. In my mind, it's actually not close to crypto. It's very close to IoT. I mean, in the early days, IoT also captured people's imagination with a lot of consumer use cases, but eventually got in with industry IoT and enterprise applications. That's where the revenues came in. AI and GenAI is also going to head that way. But, enterprises struggle thinking whether there's another crypto kind of a buzz. And this is a fact. The cool, creative, courageous talent in AI is actually out of corporate world. Anyone who's worth his weight in salt in the AI space is actually, in the startup world or in the innovation world. The corporates don't have the top talent in AI to the most part. These are some of the facts that the enterprises are struggling with. What are the key trends? It's a platform war. Right now, it's tech creators versus tech users. There are no tech developers, tech system integrators. That value chain hasn't evolved. So the big tech is trying to become the tech creators. It's a platform of choice. In last year, big tech invested 2/3 of total global US VC investments in AI. In the last 1 year alone, Microsoft added about $1 trillion to its market cap only thanks to AI. The top 4, big tech companies added close to $4 trillion, whereas the global VC investment in AI was $315 billion, right? So it's a platform of war choice that's going on right now. Let's look at how is AI evolving, right? Traditional AI that Leslie talked about is all about analyzing, pattern recognition, profiling, and forecasting. Generative AI, which we call the second generation, is all about storytelling, narratives, and thematic overlay. The third generation will be reasoning. There will be perception, cognitive abilities, memory, and metacognitive before we hit to AGI. But this is going to be the evolution of AI. So the traditional AI used to analyze, generative AI creates, and the next generation AI will be reasoning. And somewhere in between, we have something called as AI agents which are coming in. Don't worry too much about Agent Smith's photographs. Sometimes you have to, put up an image that evokes an extremely diametrically opposite reaction that you want to make a point. But if anyone's listened to Microsoft Copilot and Copilot Studio and Copilot Plus, AI agents are coming to the workplace to automate workflows, right? Whereas LLMs absorb a lot of complex work, complex knowledge and churn out interactive messaging and communication, AI agents are going to absorb a lot of managerial work, okay? So these are going to come in and take over a lot of tasks and goals, okay? And these are going to be the new segment in the enterprise AI space. We know what porn did to internet. 15 years back when I was in telecom, when we were launching 3G in India, we used to say the 3 Gs which will drive 3G adoption in India or mobile internet adoption in India are going to be God, games, and girls. Something similar is happening in AI as well. AI girlfriends and AI boyfriends are the biggest used app in the consumer segment, okay, compared to anything else. What that means to the enterprise segment is the contact center and the call center ecosystem and that business model is going to be, taken over by Gen AI space. Okay, 2 minutes. Where should companies invest? An industry colleague and a good friend, Sangeet Paul Chaudhary, came up with a good enterprise AI framework, on a blog called Platform Thinking. You guys should check it out. And he says that in an enterprise, the objectives or the roles are, broken down into goals, and then goals are broken down into tasks. Individual tasks will first be done by machines, and then eventually goals and then roles themselves, right? It's about unbundling, automating and rebundling of this one. So this is going to be the framework. I urge you guys to go check out that framework. 3 practical steps, of how companies should invest depending on where they are on the, adoption curve or investment curve. Okay. You guys can, if they're right at the beginning, they should actually invest in, automating simple and high failure tolerant tasks. Going on the other extreme, if they're advanced in their budgets and they're with huge, talent, they should actually invest in advanced innovations. Okay. And most importantly, companies should invest in, corporate accelerator, corporate startup incubator, and entrepreneur in residence programs, because this is where a lot of AI and Gen AI innovation and useful innovation is going to come into in enterprises. And Leslie talked about Chief AI Officer. I think companies should not hire Chief AI Officers. Companies should build AI success offices, a cross-functional team led by business specialists. Okay, think of these as special task force. Okay, within a company whose primary objective is to ensure that AI adoption is successful across, across functions and is in line with the company's, vision, strategy, and potential new opportunities as well. I personally believe that the big innovation in the AI and the Gen AI space is actually going to come in revenue models and the business models, okay, as opposed to anything else. But we need to have a cross-functional team whose job is to ensure that AI is successful, in the companies and their adoption. Companies right now are asking a lot of how, how should we invest? But the companies and the enterprises the question that they should be asking is why? Why should they invest in AI? And the answer to that why is going to be different for every company, and that's going to lead to the success of adoption and, evolution of AI within enterprises. So coming back to the original question, should enterprises invest in AI? 20 years back, I was in Motorola. I was launching, the product marketing guy launching Motorola, Moto Razors, Moto Rockers. The company invented cell phones. Then back then, Nokia was the global leader, and also in India, it was the 85% market share holder. Motorola was focusing on hardware, making, sexy, slim phones. Nokia moved to software with Symbian OS and pumped in a lot of features and functionalities into their phones, and Nokia was the big market leader. I was a product manager with Nokia as well. I launched their first Express Music device, touchscreen device. But Nokia lost the race to Apple, which brought in a very capable device, but intuitive user interface and user interface to people's hand tips, right? So we have these 2 huge 75-year-old multi-billion-dollar companies, okay, which missed technology tectonic shifts, okay, and and are not in the business anymore. And with AI, okay, we are there again, okay. So I strongly believe that the company should invest. We are a part of an innovation cycle right now, not an operation cycle, okay, and that's my point. Not to become obsolete, companies should definitely invest huge and innovatively into AI. My name is Jayanth Kolla. I'm partner with Convergence Catalyst. I help companies win with AI. Thank you for your time. Really appreciate it.